Today we are going to discuss two cases that both involve children. The first case we're going to call the Little Rascals, and I'm going to tell you later on why it's called the Little Rascals. So on March 14th of 2024 in Houston, Texas, an employee over at the Wells Fargo Bank was depositing money and withdrawing money for customers in the building. She had sat there and asked for the next customer, in which a man had approached her and gave her a letter in which she thought was a deposit slip, but instead when she read the note, it stated that this is a robbery and I have a weapon. Give me all the cash you have and nobody be harmed. So believing the man had a weapon, she went ahead and withdrew the cash out of her register and gave it to him, where him and two other people had ran out the building with an undisclosed amount of money. Once the man had left the building, she went ahead and raised the alarm, letting everybody know that she had just been robbed and to go ahead and call law enforcement. And upon calling law enforcement, the FBI got involved because, like most bank robberies, they are a federal crime, so the FBI has full jurisdiction over it. So after questioning all the witnesses, they came to the conclusion that the assailant was an adult. And so upon looking at surveillance feed, they went ahead and grabbed a screenshot of the person and posted it all over the news. The photo showed the bank robber as well as his two accomplices that was in the bank with him. And among posting that picture on the news, the sheriff's office was flooded with tons of phone calls with tips about who the people may be in the pictures. And not just that, they also got tips from two different families that say they know exactly who the bank robbers are, and they are bringing them in right now. So the sheriff, the FBI, as well as law enforcement were sitting there waiting for them to go ahead and drop the assailants off. When they walked in, they were surprised by what they saw. Because with them thinking that the bank robbers were adults, they kind of found that the bank robbers were actually children, where one was 11 and the other one was 12. And upon looking at the picture more, one of the police officers stated that he recognized who the third person was because he had several run-ins with this person and he was only 16 years old. Now, upon arresting all three individuals, the FBI will go ahead and dub this group as the Little Rascals. Now, all three are being charged with robbery by threat, which is a second-degree felony. Now, crimes like this is not uncommon among children to be robbing banks or even doing any other felony charges as well. Most law enforcement agencies look at this as either low sophistication or there was an adult involved in this. And the reason why they feel that an adult was involved with this because if children are ever caught, their punishment are less severe than an adult would be. And because they're minors, their names as well as additional information is not being released at this moment. Now, if the allegations are true and they are found guilty of this crime, they could be looking at the possibility of being on probation until they turn 18 or be placed in a juvenile detention center until they turn 19 years old. Now, for the 16-year-old, he could be certified as an adult, but most likely he won't be. So now our next story is a mother's worst nightmare. Because on July 3rd of 2023, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, 911 will receive a phone call from a woman saying that she had just stabbed her boyfriend in self-defense. And the reason why is because he broke into her house, started an argument with her, and then stabbed her and tried to assault her. And in chaos of fighting him off, she managed to get him off of her, as well as escape out the apartment. Now, once she managed to escape, she went to her next door neighbor house and managed to call 911. Now, once police have arrived to the residence, they went ahead and noticed that nobody was there, except for the woman where she was hysteric, saying that her ex-boyfriend broke in, did all the stuff to her, as well as kidnapped her 2-year-old daughter. Police would go ahead and identify her ex-boyfriend as 27-year-old Rashad Trice, and the daughter that was missing was 2-year-old Winter Cole Smith. She would go ahead and notify law enforcement to let them know that Rashad had stole her white Chevy Impala. So police would go ahead and put out a bolo as well as an Amber Alert. Now, while police was doing all that, Rashad had left the city and was driving towards Detroit, Michigan. And in doing so, he had 2-year-old Winter in the backseat watching YouTube videos trying to pacify her. Now, upon pulling into Detroit, he would go ahead and pull into an alleyway where he would go ahead and strangle the 2-year-old child until she was no longer alive. And then once he was sure that she was gone from this world, he would go ahead and discard her body. Now, upon driving around Detroit, he would be spotted by law enforcement where he would take him on a high-speed chase, but he would crash his car into another patrol car in which he would resist arrest before actually being arrested. Now, upon noticing that 2-year-old Winter was not in the car with him, they would go ahead and launch a search to see if they can locate her. And a few days later, they would find her lifeless body next to the Coleman A. Young International Airport. Now, fast forward to March of 2024, Rashad Trice will go ahead and plead guilty to a federal charge of kidnapping resulting in death. He faced life in prison and will be sentenced in July of 2024. So that concludes our stories for today. So what do you think? Do you feel that children are being influenced by adults to commit crimes? As well as, do you feel that you should vet people more thoroughly before you date them, especially if you have children, so that they're not a danger to you or to your family? Go ahead and leave a comment down below. And like always, if you enjoy videos like these, stay tuned to my channel.